Hi guys, and welcome back to our channel. My name is Ashley if you haven't been here before. Today's video I'm pretty excited about. It's going to be in honor of the National Breastfeeding Week. It's a pros and cons, as you could tell by the title, of breastfeeding. And obviously I breastfeed Carter right now, and she's 3.5 months old. But I do know what it's like to formula feed. I was going to say to have to formula feed, but it really is a choice. I do want to start off with the cons, and that's just because I feel like there's an equal amount of pros and cons, but the cons are like the main thing I hear about is like how hard breastfeeding is and just like how much work it is. That's like the main stuff I hear, even from myself, even from past experience. When I would talk about like why I stopped with Mason and everything, I always talked about the cons regardless of how beneficial it is, you know, and everyone knows it's better than formula feeding. Which I mean, factual it is, but it comes down to choice and to preference and what you're able to do, because not everyone is able to breastfeed, you know? This is not like a breast milk is better than formula video. I'm not here to hate on the moms that formula feed, because again, I was one of them. This is solely just what I have experienced, and yeah, so I guess let's just get started with it instead of hearing me keep on talking. So the first thing is like how bad it hurts in the beginning, especially if you have like a poor latch or your baby has tongue ties. It can really be painful for moms. So if you're in the hospital, you're a new mom, or even like your second, third, fourth, fifth, eighth kid, whatever it is, you're trying to get that latch down, because baby is learning obviously how to latch to breast, and you're also learning how to latch your baby, what position works for you. If you've had a C-section, you know that some positions are more painful than other positions. So you have to find like really what works for you and for baby. And if you have a bad latch, your nipples can literally like bleed. Like literally they will be bleeding. No one wants bloody nipples, girl, I feel you. So that hurts. They can get like cracked and sore. It hurts to even have the baby on there, and you just like want nothing to do but to give up. So it's really hard. I think it's very mentally exhausting, especially in the beginning, because you are going through so many different challenges, and you really do want to prove to yourself that like you can do this, especially if you have planned to breastfeed and like you have a goal for breastfeeding, like you know you have a year that you want to get to, but holy crap, the first 2 days like really exhausting. You're like, crap, how am I gonna make it to that year? It's definitely hard. Especially if you don't get like tongue ties fixed. Some people don't know about them for a few months, and then it's your boobs are just a hot mess, and you're having all these troubles with breastfeeding, and then it comes down to your baby just had a tongue tie, and you can get that fixed. Or you just needed to adjust your latch, which also you can fix. Another con is your husband can't feed baby unless you pump. So that is something that me and Tanner have talked about, because obviously he wants to be able to feed his baby too. It's like a bonding moment. But we learned like throughout these last 3.5 months that there is other ways for him to bond besides just feeding. The first month I would pump, which again, you're not supposed to pump the first 6 weeks because it can cause nipple confusion, but I did anyways, so to each their own. But I did anyways. I never experienced, or Carter never experienced nipple confusion. She took a bottle of pacifier and me perfectly fine, no problems. But yeah, in the beginning, like I would pump, give him milk. But if he woke up in the middle of the night to feed her, since she hadn't gotten to her birth weight yet, I would still have to get up and like pump while he's feeding her. So it was kind of pointless for him to even wake up, because regardless, I'm still getting up. So the point was supposed to be to let me sleep, but I like got no extra sleep. So we went back to me just exclusively breastfeeding her. So I would just wake up, put her on the boob, she'd fall asleep eating, and then we'd all go back to bed and it'd be fine. But it could be kind of draining, especially if you're a working mom, I think. So obviously I'm a stay-at-home mom. I am able to sleep in with Carter, nap with Carter if I need to. Tanner, for one, cannot do that. So say roles were reversed and I was working and he was staying at home, it would probably make more sense for him to feed her in the middle of the night, you know? But at that time, he was home for 4 weeks because he got awesome paternity leave. But so that's kind of exhausting when like you're the only food provider for your baby. You're like this food truck, I call it, like you're like a milk truck. But another thing is you can't be away from baby too long, at least not without pumping. Like, you still have to release that milk, because every single time that your baby eats or is supposed to be eating, you are supposed to be releasing milk as well. So you stay regulated, you stay on the same schedule as your baby. That way your supply doesn't drop. So it's a lot to maintain, especially for working moms. Like, really, I really give huge props to working moms, because when I had Mason, that was one of my biggest issues, was going back to work, because I was a bartender, and you obviously cannot really like leave your bar for 20 minutes to go pump. Like, I worked in a restaurant, they had like a changing room, like where you can like go get dressed, but there's always a lot of people in there, and it was kind of like nasty. I didn't want to like go in there. Girls would be like straightening their hair and stuff. I don't really want to like feed. And they're supposed to provide you with like a nursing area while you're breastfeeding at employment. So it was kind of just annoying for me to have to like either like go in there by myself and make sure like the door was locked, no one else could come in. I know some people who have like pumped in the bathrooms, which is pretty unsanitary, or like pumped in their cars. And like, it's just, you like I said, you can't really leave your bar for 30 minutes to go pump. So it got really hard to do. I would end up like being at work for like 8 hours, only pumping one time. So my supply immediately dipped, and I wasn't able to feed Mason any longer. Also, I was only pumping and giving him milk, so like I really had to be on top of it, because he was never latching. Another thing is, you can't have alcohol, or you can, but you have to plan around like your feedings. So like I told you guys in the last video, I'm not really much of a big drinker, but I do drink wine, and I like to have a glass of wine with my dinner sometimes, or like date night. Date night is tonight, and I'm probably gonna have a glass of wine or two tonight. So I'll have to plan that around baby. So what we'll do is, right before we go to have date night, I will feed Carter really quickly, or I'll feed Carter, and then we go to date night, and then I'll have my glass of wine or two. I never go more than two, it's always one or two. But so like after that second one, I have to make sure that I'm not feeding Carter for like another hour, you know? Basically they say if you can feel it, your baby can get affected by it. So alcohol goes through your bloodstream, obviously. That's why like if you get pulled over, your blood alcohol level is a certain amount, blah, blah, blah. Well, same with your milk. So your milk is produced by your blood, if I'm saying that correctly. It's not like what you eat, baby eats. It's, I don't know how to explain that. Basically, your blood helps produce your milk. So if you are hammered, your milk is going to have, you know, alcohol in it, because blood alcohol level, blah, blah, blah. I'm not a scientist, okay? But all I know is basically if you are able to drive safely, comprehend everything, you can hold the baby correctly, you don't feel drunk, you don't feel like, woo, you can feed your baby. So a glass of wine's not gonna hurt. But I always do, like, I'll have a glass of wine or two, and then I'll wait an hour to feed her, or I'll wait till we get back from date night, obviously, to feed her. And I always make sure I'm eating if I'm drinking, because obviously I don't want to be like schmammered when I get home to my baby to feed her. Or if I am even still feeling it, if we get home, I'll just give her some pumped milk just in case. But that's another thing too, is a lot of people think you have to pump and dump if you drink, and you do not. That is a myth. As long as you're sober, your milk is sober. So you're welcome. Oh, I know, cluster feeding. That is exhausting. Girl, it is exhausting. Literally all your baby wants is to be on your breast all the time. And they just want to eat and eat and eat. And if they're not eating, they're crying. And I'm like, holy crap. The first, I think it was like week 6, she went through her like cluster feeding phase. And I literally was going to give up. I was like crying. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. That goes along with like other cons that could be like infections that you can get, like mastitis. I got that the first month of breastfeeding Carter, and boy does that hurt. I literally had like a ping pong ball size like clogged milk duct in my boob, and if you don't treat mastitis, it can turn into a really severe infection. So luckily, like, I went to the doctor, I got an antibiotic, it cleared up, but whew, that was painful for like a week and a half. It was so bad. Another thing is when your baby gets teeth and they start to bite, and I'm so fearful for that because I've never experienced it, and I hear it hurts really bad. I'm like in a mom's group, and one of the girls posted a picture of her nipple, and there was literally like a chunk from where her baby bit down on her nipple, and I'm terrified. and I don't know how to give you guys advice on that because I haven't gone through it. So I'll let you know. Stay tuned. Here's a big one. You can only use certain birth controls when you're breastfeeding. So if you have too much estrogen in your birth control, it can affect your supply. So you're supposed to get one with proestrogen, if I say that correctly. It might be the other way around, but I think it's that way. And so like there's only certain birth controls you can do. There's like a mini pill, the Depo shot, which is what I'm on, and like the implant thingies that go like in your uterus, IUDs. Yeah, I'm not about that life. So I did the Depo shot, but I've never done that before. And I hear it makes you gain weight, and like, girl, where? Because I really am trying to gain weight, and Depo has not done anything for me, so I'm a little disappointed. But so that's that. Another thing in the beginning, it's hard to know if your baby is getting enough, like, because you can't really like see the amount that's coming out of your breast. You're just going off of your baby's cues. So yeah, in the beginning, it's hard to tell. Nursing clothes, yes, nursing clothes. So basically, like most of these cons, I asked a few moms that I know that are breastfeeding, and they gave me their biggest cons, and then I threw some of my own in here. This one's my own. Nursing clothes. Oh, so expensive, and they're so hard to find, honestly. Like, you wouldn't think that they would be that hard to find, but they're hard to find. It just got like super dark in here. I don't know if you guys can tell because I have my light on, but it's pretty dark in here. But yeah, nursing clothes are so hard to find. So normally what I've been doing is just finding like breastfeeding accessible clothes, like easily accessible. So like this, for example, I have a tank top on, I can just pull it down and feed baby. But I used to wear like V-necks or like shirts up to here, and then like I wouldn't be able to just like, I'd have to like really get her out. So I bought a bunch of nursing tank tops, nursing shirts, dresses, bras, everything. And like a lot of them I wear, but like a lot of them, they're hard to like get your boob out. When you have tiny boobs, it's really hard to like get your boob out of there. Like the ones that like lift off like that, if that makes sense. Like you like pull them, like you pull it down and you pull it up. Like my boob can barely fit through there. Even breastfeeding, like you're not that big. And yeah, so that's one thing in nursing clothes. So I just ended up buying clothes, like regular clothes that I can wear after breastfeeding that are still easily accessible while breastfeeding. Oh, and then another thing I've heard is that sometimes breastfeeding weighs into postpartum depression, like because you feel like you're the sole provider and like the sole nurturer for your baby, and that can like, if you already have postpartum depression, that can be a factor in it. So like a lot of moms will have like mom guilt for stopping breastfeeding because they want to take care of themselves, you know, and you don't feel guilty. You guys can watch my postpartum depression video because I talk about all that, but that's a huge thing. And then finally, my last and my biggest con is breastfeeding in public. Boy, do people always have something to say. People are always ready to judge. So if you whip out a can of formula, someone's gonna judge you and say, you know, that's not best for baby. You shouldn't be using formula. That's gonna hurt your baby. If you're breastfeeding in public, you get, that's disgusting. Put your boob away. You're nasty. You're trying to turn my husband on. Blah, blah, blah. First of all, if your husband is getting turned on by a baby eating, you need to find a new husband because that's freaking sick. Second of all, I'm not trying to get anyone's attention. I'm literally trying to discreetly feed my baby. Trust me, if I wanted your attention, I'd be like, woo! But I'm like literally like this. Like, I don't want you looking at me. Especially you saying something to me. Like, that's so rude. And like breastfeeding is so natural and it's been around for so long and people still have something to say. So just feed your baby. Don't mind the stares. I've had people ask me how I'm comfortable breastfeeding in public, and it's because I just act like no one else is around except for like the people that I'm with. Because honestly, like I'm never gonna see these people again, so I really don't care if they have something to say. And if they do that, it's just a problem of their own that they need to work on, because I'm not gonna stop. Like, I'm gonna feed my baby. So that's it for my cons, guys. Now, 15 minutes later, let's get into the pros. So obviously we all know it's like best for the baby. It has like every nutrient that your baby needs. Like, you'll never have to give your baby water or anything like that. Breast milk has everything. And like each day that your baby grows, like your body knows to produce, like what to produce for that day for your baby. It's pretty crazy. Especially like if your baby is sick, your breast milk will literally change to cure your baby. It's so weird. Like the saliva will, from the baby's mouth, will go into the nipple and like send some kind of magical dust to your brain and tell you like what to produce, and it will literally cure your baby. It'll help them fight off that illness, and it will like change the color of the breast milk too. It's pretty cool to see if you ever pump. It costs less. It's completely free. So Mason was spitting up all the time whenever he was born, so I had to put him on Enfamil AR, which is like a certain formula made for like babies who spit up. And that thing is $27 a can, and I would buy it like every other week. It was freaking ridiculous. So this is completely free. All I have to do is chug a bunch of water. But yeah, so there's that. It reduces the chance of breast cancer, which is actually something I didn't know. And one of the moms in the mom groups that I'm in was the one that told me that. So I thought that was pretty cool. Obviously, it creates a really strong bond for you and baby. You guys are the only ones that are going to have this bond. Obviously, no one else can feed your baby. Like, husbands can't feed your babies, grandmas can't feed your babies, friends can't feed your baby. Like, you are the only one who is going to have this amazing bond between you and baby. And I don't know about you, but that's pretty cool to me. I love it. And like, she'll just look at me and just smile. Like, she just knows. She knows that I'm like her little food person. Yeah. Oh, this one's awesome. Breast milk can be used to heal ear infections, are like number one thing. Like, you can literally just drop some of your breast milk into your baby's ear, like a few drops, like 3 or 4, and it can help fight off ear infections, baby acne, or even your own acne. If you just like wash baby's face first or your face first, and then you put some breast milk on and let it completely dry, it can help with acne, which is super cool. You can do like breast milk baths as well, kind of the same effect. Baby popsicles are great if your baby is teething. You can literally put some milk into little popsicle containers and freeze them, and then baby can just chew on them to help with teething, and they're still getting nutrients. So that they're not just like sucking on one of those like ice holder things that people sell. I don't know, like Target sells those things that you just freeze them and then baby chews on that. So like the popsicles, they actually have nutrients. So that's good. You can put your breast milk on like cuts and scrapes, and that'll help heal them as well. Also like diaper rash, so the same kind of thing as the acne. You clean baby's butt, and then you put the breast milk on, let it completely dry before diapering, and there's that. And then also another huge thing is breastfeeding releases oxytocin, which is like the happy, oh, Carter just woke up from her nap. Can't think of the word. Oxytocin. It releases it into your body and it makes you happy, I guess. So whenever that is happening, it can help relax mom, and it can help fight off postpartum depression or help you with postpartum depression. If you're one of those people who breastfeeding isn't affecting your postpartum depression, it can help you. Another awesome pro is you're always ready to feed. Like, you don't ever have to prepare a bottle. All you gotta do is whip your boob out and put baby on, and you're good to go. It decreases baby's risk for obesity, which also ties into mothers. It can help mom lose weight after having a baby, which in my case, I don't want that, but some people do, obviously. And the last thing, which I don't know why it's something that a lot of people said too in my mom group, is it makes your boobs look big, and like it looks like you have a boob job, which, there you go, ladies, free boob job. But Carter's waking up, so I'm all done here, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys continue watching our other videos. Stay tuned for the next one. It'll probably be pretty cool. I don't know what it is yet, but yeah. So ring that bell for post notifications, hit the subscribe button, like this video, share this video, tell all your friends, tell all your moms, tell all your babies. Bye, guys.